Okay guys, I got a pool filter here. I clean it about 3 to 4 times a year depending on the load. It's a diatomaceous earth pool filter. And this is just basic maintenance for this pool filter. What you're going to need is some diatomaceous earth so you can reload it. You're going to need a crescent wrench, and you'll need some of this lube. Yes, the lube for the O-ring. If you don't have any of this, you can probably use Vaseline. I'm going to leave all that alone. But that's it. And a water hose. A good water hose, some good water pressure. So you can clean the screens that are in this filter. This is just your basic pool filter. What we are going to do is back flush it. Then we are going to drain it. Then we are going to pull off the sealing ring there. We're going to pull the top off, pull out the screens, clean them, put everything back together, reverse order, and then load it with diatomaceous earth. Very simple operation, so stay tuned and watch. Okay, first thing you're going to do is put the valve in back flush. That, backwash, turn on your pump. Make sure your water level is a little bit high in your pool because you're going to be losing pumping water out of the pool. What I'm going to do is just back flush this for a couple of minutes, and we're going to turn off the pump. And this valve has a rinse cycle, so what I'm going to do is put it on rinse. Turn off the pump, turn it, put it on rinse, and turn it back on for about a minute or so, and then turn it back off, and then we will drain the filter house. Okay, it's been a couple of minutes. Put it on rinse, turn it back on. This also pumps water out of the pool. Okay, it's enough of a rinse. Putting back on filter. Leaving it off. I do apologize for the wind noise. Okay, first thing you want to do is vent the tank, the canister. That starts draining the system. Pull out your basket. I'm assuming you know how to do that. Clean all your leaves. The filter will drain faster if I leave that off. Creates no suction. Once again, sorry about the wind noise. This should be drained down now, and I'm going to remove this nut, spring, and washers. Do not lose these. You will probably be using this because I'm Super Tech, so I got this. I like to wipe out the inside of this. It helps. And of course, around the top of the filter here. All of that makes a difference when you go to put it back together. Give this a little rock. If you didn't drain it fully, you will find out right at that point that you should have drained it more. At this point, same thing along the bottom here. Clean this seal right here. This is where your O-ring goes. So you don't want a piece of debris between the O-ring and the plastic. Set that to the side. Here's your O-ring. Go ahead and remove it. Take your greasy rag and clean it. You can also hose this off. Personally, I usually just use my rag. When you clean your O-ring, take a look at it. Make sure it's still bendable, it's not cracking, you know, like the belts on your car. Set that to the side. And then on top here, on mine, I have a couple of wing nuts, so we're going to remove these. Do not lose these either. Not that it's critical and you can't get more, it's just that you have to take a drive over to the pool supply place or the hardware store, lose an hour screwing around to go get a 50-cent nut. And I'll leave that joke alone too. Now what we're going to do is pull off the top. Got to wiggle it. When you go back to reassemble this, put lubricant right here. Also, I try not to move this carriage. This whole thing is the filters sit on top of it. I try not to move it too much so that it'll go back in, because these filters right around here get to be a real pain in the butt, and you have to jiggle and adjust this and everything else. So word of advice, take a picture or something where these two are so you can kind of reposition it exactly where it is. But these, they just pop out of here. So you start removing these. Like so. Okay guys, do not use a pressure washer on those. That screen that goes over that plastic is very fragile. That chlorine dries everything out. So you want to be kind of delicate with those things. And of course you need to inspect them. If they got a tear in them, you need to replace them. If the plastic's all broken, you need to replace them. It's just the way it is. And they are not cheap. Everything for a pool is expensive, which sucks. But anyway, let's put this thing back together. It's not that difficult. Sorry about the wind, guys. It's a wind tunnel back here. If you got OCD, you can get a wet vac and suck the rest of that water out of there. There's a little mud in the bottom. It's not mud, it's diatomaceous earth. But we are going to put this back in. Let me see if I can get this. There is a certain position it has to be in. That's what I was saying. So you need to remember the orientation of it. Otherwise you will be fighting it. Now the bottom of the filters, the pole that goes through the center of the filter. See this? Filter. See this? That's the small filter. See this one? Filter. You just thought they were squiggly lines, but that tells you where to put the filters so that everything lines up. Okay, let's go ahead and lube that so I don't forget, and then we'll start putting these filters in. Okay, time to stick the filters back in. Ooh, baby, baby. Okay, those are in. Now the cussing starts. This just helps make it a little bit easier. Not much, but easier. Okay. Get the greasy crap off. Winning. I mean winning. I need to bring you all along more often because that was winning. See how easy that went on? So yeah, do a little lube. Okay. Wing nuts. By the way, all this is stainless steel. Don't be putting no carbon steel in here, because it won't be here the next time you go to do this, because it will rust away. Okay, this is kind of hand tight. Don't put the monkey arm on it, you know. There's no need for that. Okay, let's put the lid on and we'll see how we're doing. Okay, I'm going to add water to the bottom of this because it's going to aid in the priming of the pump. It is not necessary, but it helps. Okay, it's time to lubricate the O-ring and get the lid on. That is slimy. Slimy, slimy. That's why you need greasy rag. Make sure you orientate your gauge so you can read it, and the air bleeder, water bleeder, make sure you spray it, aim it so it's not like shooting into your house. That's not good. Ah. See that? Now when I let this go, it's gonna pop off. Gotta be fast, gotta be fast. Run, Forrest, run. Ah. Now, which way did this go? Okay. It's trying to pop off. There it is. Remember the $6 million man? Okay. Proper torque. That's one ugga dugga. I can just feel it. Okay, let's fire this thing up, see if it actually works. There sprays water everywhere, and then we gotta load it with the diatomaceous earth. Okay, the vent valve on top of the filter is closed. We're gonna dump this in there. Okay, turn it on. Got to rub your hands on the greasy rag like you know what you're doing. Yeah, you got water. Bleeding the air out. Open that up. Water's going to start squirting everywhere. See? Voila! We're riding hard right there at about 15 pounds. It was at 32, which was a little high. But we have no leaks. We got a full pump. See that action? Where is it? There it is. So now it is time. Look at all the flow on that pool right there. So what we're going to do now is load that filter. I'm going to show you how you do that. You fill a 5-gallon bucket with water. You dump in that diatomaceous earth into that bucket, mix it, and then pour it into your return strainer. So let's do it. After about 6 weeks, I'll backwash and add more diatomaceous earth, and then at 12 weeks, which is 3 months, I usually pull it apart and then redo this whole operation. Probably could get away with less, but it's just the way I like to roll on this. If you do see a bunch of powder and stuff or sand in the bottom of your pool, you got a hole in your filter. Anyway, we are running. Everything looks good. We're going to turn on the pool cleaner. Do not touch the wires. You will get electrocuted and die. Yeah, it's OSHA approved, right? Yeah. Don't be screwing around in there. Make sure you know what you're touching. Don't be looking away or anything else, because that will kill you, because the ground's usually wet and it's got a lot of amperage to run those motors, and you will die. So be very careful. So anyway, here's my pool. It's very large. Right now where I live, the oak trees are mating. The pollen for the last 2 weeks has been nasty. It's all oaks, and then the pines will come. But anyway, my neighborhood is all old growth forest now. Used to be rice fields 40 to 50 years ago, but now it is oaks. And so we get the big nasty right there. I am lucky because I used to have a big giant oak tree here, but I took it out. That was a nightmare. If you go back to my videos from 10 years ago, I used to have red tips right here. Now I got new neighbors and they're planting these giant Florida palm trees. And they're pretty cool, but I think it's gonna come through the fence pretty soon. And then my neighbor here, he's got weeds, and then we got more palm trees. I don't know what the hell they got back there, but anyway, not very interesting. But this stuff here I need to scoop out. Scoop it out about twice a day. If you own a pool, you will be doing a lot of maintenance. You need to spend at least 5 to 10 minutes a day working on your pool. I'm not kidding about this. If you don't, you will have a green slimy mess. You will hate your pool. And just quit being lazy and going in there and watching friggin' the car trashies. And I don't have any leaks, so I'm doing good. I'm gonna clean these little pods out of here in the pollen, and it'll be back in an hour. It's kind of useless, but I have to put up my tools and everything else. So anyway, appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Appreciate you watching.